jelly beans. How are you? First, please turn off your cell phones so that we don't have any feedback, etc. My name is Tony Cortese, and I have the honor and the privilege to be a trustee and now the chair of the Board of Trustees at Greenest College. I've been on the board for the last 7 years and had the privilege of being on the board when Fonteyn has been the leader of this college. Thank you, members, all the students first, members, distinguished members of the Poultney community, the faculty, the staff, and everyone that is part of the Green Mountain community for coming to this important rite of passage for the college. The Volunteer Board of Trustees is legally entrusted to ensure the success of Green Mountain College. The single most important decision that we make in fulfilling that responsibility is the appointment of the president, who is the chief executive officer of the college. It's our fiduciary duty to select a leader that embodies the mission and the values of the college to ensure its success and its sustainability. We take this responsibility very seriously because we believe deeply in the mission of the college and that our approach to education and practice is a model for what we think a liberal arts education ought to be for society going forward in the 21st century. Because we have to deal with unprecedented and uncertain challenges, and we need to provide you as students with the ability to have fulfilling lives that will make a difference in the world. In August, President Fonteyn announced that he would be completing his presidency at the end of this academic year after 8 years of admirable service. Thank you, Paul. The board immediately went into action to begin to look for his successor. We held a 2-day retreat in September that included participation of faculty, staff, and students, as well as the administration, to take stock of the college, determine our needs for Paul's successor, and to establish a comprehensive search process for the new president. After 8 months of an exhaustive effort, the board has appointed a new president, Robert W. Allen, the 8th president of Green Mountain College. We will introduce you to him to you in just a few minutes. He is the other Bob Allen. It turns out, how could you have 2 Bob Allens in a small state like Vermont? I mean, it's actually pretty funny, isn't it? As you know, our previous board chair was Robert C. Allen. This is, our new president is Robert W. Allen, okay? So, Bob C. Allen, our former board chair, is back there. Wave your hand, Bob. And thank you for your leadership. It was a pleasure to serve on the board with you as the chair. Our new Bob Allen will take over his role on July 1st, the beginning of the new academic year. We believe that Bob W. Allen is the right person at the right time for GMC, and we are grateful that you have been willing to take on this challenge, Bob. President Fonteyn has indicated that commencement on May 14th will be his final day in office. The board has appointed Provost Tom Moss-Pugh to serve as interim president from May 15th to June 30th, remembering again that Bob Allen will take over on July 1st. In a minute, I will turn this over to Deb Granquist, who is the co-chair of the search committee. She will explain the process for selecting the new president and what he brings to the GMC community. I want to reiterate my deep appreciation for the 12 members of the search committee, and especially the leadership of trustees Bob Charlevoix and Deb Granquist in chairing the committee. They spent thousands of hours in deep, caring, thoughtful ways and unwavering commitment to getting both the process right and to ensure that we made the best decision for the college. It is a true demonstration of servant leadership. And when you have a chance, and you'll hear who the members of the search committee have been, please, we have a special place in our heart for them because of the amount of time that they put into this. There was no extra credit, they weren't being paid to do it, but they believed in the mission of the college. So let me now turn it over to our esteemed member of the Board of Trustees, the chair of the Nominating and Governance Committee, and the co-chair of the search committee, Deb Granquist.
Wow, this is pretty exciting. I have the honor of telling you about the presidential search process and then how we came to a decision. My co-chair, Bob Charleboyan, had a great privilege of leading the search committee's work to identify a new leader for Green Mountain College. After 8 months of very intensive work, our choice became quite clear. We recommended, and the Board of Trustees unanimously agreed, that the person best suited to follow on the work of President Fonteyn and continue the mission and vision of the college is Bob Allen. He's sitting right there with his wife, Karen, and you're going to have a chance to hear from him in a few minutes. But first, let me expand a little bit on the search process and then tell you why we chose Bob. First, the search committee. Tony alluded a little bit to it. While it's the responsibility of the Board of Trustees to ultimately choose the college president, we wanted to make sure that the search process was as inclusive as possible and involved representatives of the entire college community. So the board appointed 7 trustees, including 3 alums, and asked the faculty and staff to choose 2 representatives each to the community. To represent the interests of the students, we asked the president of the student government if he would be willing to join, and we were delighted he agreed. The faculty members were Natalie Coe and John Van Hoosen, Paul Millette and Ryan Erkey represented the staff, and Antoine Luchik for the students. Can I just have a round of applause for those people? I cannot begin to thank the members of the search committee for their dedication, hard work, and patience. Over the last 8 months, we have learned to work together as a team, to listen to each other, and to trust one another's judgment and be respectful. Everyone had a voice, and everyone's thoughts and opinions were heard. One of the first tasks of the search committee was to identify the challenges and opportunities facing the college, and to create a presidential profile with the leadership criteria that we were looking for in the new president. But we didn't do this work alone. The task involved input from all of you. We asked the faculty and staff, students, alums, and friends to give us their thoughts. There were focus groups, online surveys, and group and one-on-one conversations. With the information that we gathered from all of you, and with the help of our search consultant, the firm of Storbeck and Pimentel, we came up with the ideal characteristics for our new leader, and we posted them on our website for all to see. We received more than 100 inquiries. We reviewed 68 resumes and CVs. We met frequently, and we then narrowed the field down to 10. Interviews and reference checking brought the field down to 4, and ultimately to 2. The 2 candidates came to campus and met with the leadership of each of the constituencies, the cabinet, the faculty, staff, and students. And after the on-campus meetings, we invited each of the attendees to give us feedback by way of an online survey. The search committee held a final meeting and unanimously voted to recommend Bob Allen to be elected by the Board of Trustees as the next president of Green Mountain College. Bob will bring to Green Mountain College a unique background in business, education, and community nonprofit organizations. But most importantly, Bob has the skills, intellect, and emotional engagement to lead the 2020 plan. So a little bit about Bob Allen. For the past 4 years, he has been the president and CEO of the Windham Foundation in Grafton, Vermont. This is a foundation whose mission is to promote the vitality of the town of Grafton and of Vermont's rural communities through its philanthropic and educational programs. Prior to joining the foundation, he was the senior executive at Vermont Country Store for 25 years and was named president and CEO in 1994. He retired the first time at the age of 55 in 2005 after dramatically expanding the company from 50 to more than 600 employees and initiating a program of annual profit sharing and bonuses that continues today. From 1995 to 2007, 12 years, Bob was a member of the Board of Trustees of Champlain College, which he chaired for 2 years. He led the search committee there that brought former college president Dave Finney to Champlain and was the co-chair of the College Committee on Diversity and Inclusion. All of the recommendations of that committee were implemented within 6 months of its report, including the appointment of a diversity inclusion officer. But Bob is much more than his resume successes might indicate. In fact, the most important reason that the committee and the board chose Bob is his total belief and support of the Green Mountain College mission. Bob decided to apply for the president position because he believes in the power of education to transform lives. Being the president of Green Mountain College would be the capstone to all that he has done in his work and life to create sustainability and a just society. He believes in the mission of the college to ensure that the next generation of youth is well prepared to deal with the issues of the future. We have the utmost confidence that Bob will be a great successor to Paul, leading the team, inspiring faculty, staff, and students alike, and reaching out to the community of alumni, friends, benefactors, and academia to keep moving Green Mountain College forward. And now we have the great pleasure to introduce someone who needs absolutely no introduction, Antoine Lucha. I'm not even sure I say his name right, but he's actually tried to tutor me in saying his name, but I guess I'm not very Belgian at heart or something. But anyway, you should all know that as a member of the Presidential Search Committee, he did you proud. He always listened, and he always had the best interests of his constituency, you, the students, in his heart and mind. He embodied all that is great about Green Mountain College. Antoine, you made us proud, and we were grateful for your participation. So here you go.
All right. Hello, everyone. For those who still don't know me, my name is Antoine Lucic. My grandfather was a political refugee from Serbia. I grew up with my mother and lived 11 years in Africa. I'm also a white, cisgender male. As such, I recognize my privileges and responsibilities towards society. Why am I telling you this, you might ask? Because the next president of GMC recognizes this privilege and responsibility too. He does not escape the pattern of previous mature white gentlemen. This said, Bob Allen has proved to the committee that he was the best candidate that GMC needs at this point of our college's history. Starting from very humble beginnings, he has always dedicated his time and energy to mission-driven institutions like ours. He was a change agent when making the Vermont Country Store the socially responsible and successful venture it is today. And as Deb said, he was on the board of Champlain when hiring the director for diversity and inclusion. He is also a vegetarian since 45 years, avid cyclist, father of 2, and world traveler. But most of all, he does not only believe in our mission, but embodies it in his own way, as we all strive to. The processes the committee went through were long, draining at times, nerve-wracking, and extremely satisfying. I have never felt as proud as having the caliber of candidates interviewed repeat time after time the jewel that is Green Mountain College. The community that is GMC is one of respect, solidarity, and commitment to a just and sustainable world. Do not think that the next president will solve everything in a snap. He is here to offer a listening ear, to absorb the culture, and provide the support and expertise we need. But it is our collective responsibility to persevere and continue with the innovative initiatives happening on and off campus. Today, as the student representative on the search committee, as the student body president of the 2015-2016 academic year, and as a soon-to-be graduate, I am proud to introduce and invite all of you to join me in welcoming the next president of Green Mountain College, Mr. Bob Allen.
I know I fit the mature white male. Well, I know I fit the white male portion of that. You might afterwards ask my wife about the mature part. So Antoine, I want to thank you for your service. You gave up a good portion of your senior year in college to this process, and I think that was a great sacrifice for you, and I thank you very much. I also wish you great luck as you go back to Europe and continue your studies, and who knows where it'll take you. I know that Green Mountain College will take you very far, so congratulations and good luck. So I'm truly honored, and I mean that sincerely, to stand here before you today as the president-elect of Green Mountain College. Special thanks go to the committee co-chairs, Deb Granquist, Barb Charleboy, who couldn't be here today, and the entire search committee. Our discussions and there were thoughtful questions that came from the committee increased my excitement about the opportunity and challenges that lie ahead. I would also like to thank President Fonteyn for his generous commitment of time to help me better understand, including just about 10 minutes ago, to better understand the culture and important mission of the college. I'm truly humbled by the opportunity to continue the important work begun by Paul and his team 8 years ago. My final thank you goes to my wife, sitting in the front row. None of what I've accomplished or we've accomplished to date or will in the future would have been possible without you. I mean that, and another exciting chapter is about to begin, so fasten your seatbelt. So I'd like to begin my formal remarks with a short history lesson. This Friday, I think you all know, is Earth Day. Friday, April 22nd will mark the 46th anniversary of the birth of the modern environmental movement. In 1970, 20 million Americans took to the streets, parks, and college campuses to demonstrate for a healthy, sustainable environment. Earth Day 1970 achieved a rare political alignment, and all of you know, given the political alignment today, it is increasingly rare. Democrats and Republicans, rich and poor, farmers and city dwellers united behind a common concern. I was one of the many college students demonstrating that day. Until that day, much of mainstream America was oblivious to the threats to the environment and to our health. In fact, the majority of Americans, myself including, were primarily focused on ending the war still raging in Vietnam. Thankfully, the war ended soon thereafter. Unfortunately, the environmental movement has been less sustainable. Even though Earth Day continues to be celebrated every April, and I know you've been celebrating it all week here on campus, my generation, the 60s generation, failed to live up to our goals. The baby boom generation, the idealist who set out to change the world, has, almost by any measure, made our country and our world more fragile. Despite all our good intentions, we have consumed too much of the planet's limited natural resources. We've poisoned the earth and disrupted our climate. Today, the baby boomer generation that has the political and economic power to make the world a better place is unwilling to make the necessary changes. As a result, future generations, and many of you are in the room today, face the enormous task of reversing the mess that we made. Green Mountain College is committed to being part of the solution. More than 20 years ago, the college branded itself as an environmental leader. The college has remained true to its mission and has become even more focused on social, economic, and environmental sustainability. Every aspect of this institution screams sustainability, from its skilled and dedicated faculty and staff to the way we operate and the way we invest our endowment. Few colleges have made this deep commitment to authentic sustainability. I am committed to the college's goal of preparing students to take their place in this challenging and complex world. I believe we must move as quickly as possible to create a more just and sustainable society. Our students must be prepared to be change leaders in many different fields. The Green Mountain College curriculum is firmly grounded in hands-on experience and the core environmental liberal arts. We have built a solid platform for our graduates to have a positive impact in dealing with society's unprecedented challenges, and in the process create fulfilling lives for our students no matter what path they choose to follow. Our approach has great appeal to millennials who are interested in an education that involves much more than textbook learning. It's no accident that Green Mountain College is ranked the #2 green college in the nation by the Princeton Review, and one of only two, and I emphasize two, colleges in the nation who have achieved carbon neutrality. That is a great accomplishment. Many colleges aspire to be where Green Mountain is today. The college is a model for 21st century education that can attract the best and the brightest. I pledge to you that I'll use the skills I've acquired during my career to have students literally beating down the doors to get in. I'm honored to have been offered an opportunity to help the college further develop and execute its mission. Like many Green Mountain students, I'm a first-generation college graduate and have a deep appreciation for the value of a college education. And I say this with all sincerity, college literally transformed my life. Though I am not a member of the Academy currently, I have been actively engaged in educational governance for more than 2 decades. I served simultaneously on 2 local school boards, and as Deb said, for 12 years, I was a trustee of Champlain College. I served as its board chair from 2005 to 2007 during the first 2 years of the newly appointed president. I began my career in the early 1970s with a company known for its leadership in the outdoors and outdoor education. In 1982, I moved to Vermont to join a small family company that was not only committed to its own future, but also to the long-term health of its employees and their communities. I have a history of leading financially successful institutions both as a CEO, a trustee, and a board chair. I believe that financial success is a necessary but not sufficient condition for true success. All businesses I have been involved with have been committed to a triple bottom line: people, planet, and profits. Failure to achieve any one, in my mind, would be a failure overall. In 2012, Green Mountain College developed a long-term plan with the appropriate title, Sustainability 2020. This is the roadmap I will use to begin my journey at the college. I believe the plan has many of the elements needed for short and long-term success. Like with any plan, however well conceived, changes are inevitable with time. My leadership style has always been to surround myself with smart people who understand their own areas of knowledge far better than I do. I believe that top-down leadership is a flawed concept and seldom leads to optimum results. I'll be looking to the entire college community, including trustees, for help and guidance as we move Green Mountain forward. Before I arrive on campus full-time in July, I'll be reaching out to as many of you as possible, including alumni and members of the Poultney community. My first priority will be to listen. I'll be asking lots of open-ended questions. The collective wisdom of this group is what we need to change this complex and challenging world. If you don't already know, you'll soon discover, I think Antoine mentioned it, that I'm an avid cyclist. Perhaps some of the questions and possible solutions will come as we pedal across campus this fall. In closing, I'd like to address the students in the audience, and I noticed there are a lot. I wasn't sure that any of you would show up, so I'm delighted you're here. I'd like to address the students. It really is because of you and for you that we all are here. You are the generation that must not lose focus on the environmental, social, and economic challenges facing our world. You are the generation that can change the world by staying true to your goals and personal commitment to a just and sustainable society. David Chu, the former Energy Secretary, said recently, and I really truly love this quote, "The Stone Age did not end because we ran out of stones. It ended when we transitioned to better solutions." Those better solutions are out there waiting to be discovered, so let's go out and find them. Thank you. And I guess certainly needs no introduction, but the president of Green Mountain College, Paul Fonteyn.
Welcome, everybody. It's a great day. I just got back at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was really glad to be back because I just spent 16 hours with Philip Ackerman Lice. And believe me, leaving him behind is a good thing. I'll tell you, we were fundraising, and the person that has contributed a great deal to college, you always want to assure people that you're passing on leadership to people that are very competent. So, and since these people also were in Virginia, I didn't think they could spread the word to Vermont before today. So I shared the fact that we were hiring Bob Allen as the new president. And so these people's name is Allen is their last name. The husband spelled their name, his name was A-L-L-A-N, and her name was A-L-L-E-N. So the first question was, how does he spell his name? And fortunately, the alum spells her name the same way you did. It went over very well. So it was very good. You don't do this job, just take a moment, you don't do this job by yourself. And Marsh was really helpful all the time, and I appreciate it. I think you'll find with most people, I know Ackerman Lice did it, and I did it, and I think Bob Allen did it. I know the other Bob Allen did it. We all married up. We were lucky. Philip really married up. So, and I'm glad to see the Poultney Mafia here today, Chuck Coleman and Bob Williams and Jonas Rosenthal here. They actually run the town. Other people think they might do. But Bob, welcome to the campus, and Karen, very welcome to the campus. I really appreciate it. You willing to take on the leadership and after me. It's a great community. Students are wonderful, faculty, wonderful staff. The facilities people under Bill Ballard's leadership is just remarkable, and Cindy and Dave Andre are leading Chartwells. It's just a wonderful, welcoming community. And what Marsh and I found when we first came here was the welcome atmosphere of the students and the faculty and staff. They want everybody to succeed. They will greet you warmly. They want the place to succeed, and they will offer their advice and their support. So I think it's a great community to join. This room's kind of interesting. This is where I interviewed. This is where I gave my first speech to everybody. This is where I announced I was retiring. And when you retire, if you work at a place long enough and you like it, you develop a lot of attachment to it. And you really want, more than anybody else, I would submit, to pass it on to someone that has the same commitment to the institution, has perhaps better experience as you do. If you put it in a sports analogy, you really want to hire someone better than you. And I think that's what the college has done. I think Bob Allen, I think you're the right person at the right time. And I think the committee did just an outstanding job. And you should all be very fortunate that he's willing to take this on. So thank you very much for doing that. When I took over president, Bob Allen, the first Bob Allen, the older one, the much older one, was the head of the search committee. And the chair at that time was Barbara Wellnitz, who's from the class of '61. And Barbara Wellnitz is this very elegant, polished, very professional person. And one of the things she did for me was she gave me a gift shortly after I came here. And Bob, if you could come up, I'd like to pass that gift on. And Barbara gave me this particular gift. You'd open it up and then we can, yep, please.
Will you be embarrassed?
No. No, keep going. There's something actually in there. So what he had, those are cufflinks, Green Mountain cufflinks, which you can no longer get. They're 55 years old. And Barbara gave them to me when I took over, and I would like to give them to you as a symbolism of linking you to the college. All right, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul. Okay, so now the fun stuff begins. We're going to have the opportunity for you to meet Bob and Karen with some refreshments after we're done. Wanted to let you know that at this time, a press release is going out to the larger community about the appointment of Bob Allen. We wanted to be sure that you heard it first, and so the press release did not go out until we had this meeting here today. The other thing I wanted to mention is that we are establishing a transition committee to help the new president. It will have representation from the board, from the faculty, the staff, and the president of the Student Senate. So I want to just thank you all for being here, and let's have some fun and have you have a chance to say hello to Bob and Karen. Thanks very much.